it's also a little hard to get a ton of data for like 26 letters of the alphabet, or maybe like 52 letters if you want to do uppercase and lowercase, plus every like special character. Like we do, like percent sign, question marks, exclamation marks, at sign, like greater than, less than, things like that. So you're
Um,
adding in all of these characters.
how's ampersand? Have you tried that
Dude,
one?
yeah, actually, it's really good. It's really,
Oh, okay.
really good at picking up the ampersand.
Maybe it being distinct actually kind of
Yeah,
helps. So
yeah, it
with
does. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
we were talking about with Japanese, there's it's a little different in English. Like C and H next to each other make a particular sound, but you can imagine other languages they have a character or something like that.
Yeah,
Do you think
yeah.
you could kind of trick the Neuralink and like make your own character
No,
for
yeah,
typing
absolutely.
CH?
I don't think it has anything to do with tricking it. It's just you can map anything to anything. If I wanted to map the letter A to the letter M instead, then you just tell it, okay, when I write this character, this letter A, because it doesn't know what an A is. It just knows like what I'm trying to do, right? So you're telling it to match up. Like when I do this thing, when my brain starts, firing in this way, that means you output this, like you output X, Y, or Z, kind of literally. And so you can write whatever you want. I could write A through, X, Y, or something regularly. And then for Z, I could do something freaking crazy. I could draw like a triangle or something, and you just tell it, like, output Z. So,
That's
yeah, there's a
awesome.
lot there. And like, we don't know what the right answer is at this point. We're still playing around with it.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
did you want to talk about mapping for a minute? I'm going to play a video. We're going to see how this goes.
Cool.
Mark built a split keyboard, 3D printed one.
Ooh. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well, okay. Wah,
Uh,
wah.
it kind of worked. Ooh,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, like this is my whole peripheral setup. So
Yeah.
I don't have Neuralink, but maybe I'll get one
Yeah.
one day. But I have a split keyboard. I have a trackpad, and I use a classic mouse.
Hmm.
And I don't have any of the keys on the keyboard because or I don't have the keys identified on the keyboard because I have all sorts of like hotkey style things and
Yeah.
mapping.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that even with having fewer keys, I can still do keyboard things, and I prefer to use this style keyboard. So yeah, it's interesting because in my mind, I map plenty of things, especially with video games. Like I played a lot of League of Legends in
Gosh, I love League of
college.
Legends.
Yeah,
I
so
played
like,
so much League. Yeah.
do you, yeah, have you ever done like the Alistar headbutt combo? So you
Oh yeah.
charge and you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
smash.
Yep.
I
Yep.
feel like I have that, like that's mapped in my mind. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know even if it's like W or E or what buttons or the
Mm-hmm.
space bar and the timing. So yeah, that's interesting. So for you, like if you're playing video games right now or anything, like do you have any like particular mappings you have access to, or what's it
No.
like playing
So
video games?
so I think this is also another interesting problem. Um, have you ever seen a picture of like a mapping of the motor cortex? And like what parts of the motor cortex correlate to what parts of the body?
That we don't probably haven't seen it as recent
Yeah.
as you have, but
Yeah.
No,
I
yeah.
remember right, we conveniently have access to a lot of like the major ones. Well, all of it's on the outside of the brain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
it's reversed too.
yeah, it's reversed, but there's like there's like some really fun pictures of it where basically along each part of the brain with the motor cortex, that like strip of brain on each side, left and right brain with the motor cortex, um, you it's not like it starts, at the back. It's like, okay, we'll start from the head to toe. So on this side, it's like left shoulder, then, like bicep, tricep stuff, then elbow, then wrist, then like you start with the fingers, thumb, index, blah, blah, blah. And then you keep going down. And that's just how like the motor cortex works. It's not like that at all. If you look at it, it's like it'll go from like right hand to knee, and then you have like some like other body parts thrown in there, like this is your freaking ear or something, like I don't know. It's just like very, very random. And so if you think about like when you're trying to map stuff, there tends to be quite a bit of like noise basically. When you're trying, like for me, when I'm trying to map things like pinky, pinky finger, ring finger, middle finger, index, and thumb, um, trying to map all of those to different things, there's actually quite a bit of contamination between them. So you'll get, like, if I'm trying to say map something to my pinky and my ring finger and pinky are basically like can be used for the same thing. It's hard to explain. Um, there's just It's hard to tell the two apart when you're finally trying to map them. So if I map, say, right click to pinky and left click to my ring finger, um, sometimes when I move my pinky, it'll do a left click instead. And sometimes when I move my ring finger, it'll do a right click instead. There's just a lot of contamination. And so, like, for us, it's been really hard to even get 3 clicks to get, left, right, middle because there's so much contamination on the hand. So mapping it to like I know that at some point this will be able to, like the Neuralink will be able to be used for full keyboard control, kind of like what you guys are talking about, where you have like hotkeys, you're able to do like shift, whatever, command Q, like all these different things. You're able to like control alt delete sort of thing. You're able to do that. But at this point, it's just so far beyond what we even are capable of understanding because it's such a complicated problem. I don't even fully understand it. I just know that there's way too much contamination in what we're doing. Like it's hard to do like a ring finger, a pinky finger and a thumb. Like if you take those two things are basically complete
Yeah.
opposites on the hand. And if
Uh,
you like push out on one side and push out on the other, like you're just like extending your hand in both ways, you'll still get contamination between the two. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
If
because
I,
you're probably like feeling your palm more. Like if you
yeah,
put those together,
I have a
palm.
theory. I have a theory. I think it actually has to do with all like the tendon that controls like the fingers and the thumbs and stuff, because it all goes through the same
yeah,
tendon. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that
Hmm.
sort of thing.
Yeah. So it all goes through the same one. Like it's just one kind of major tendon or two major tendons, like in the wrist and stuff, that control all of your fingers and everything. So I think that it has something to do with that. I'm not sure. I'm really, really curious to see how a Neuralink works in a regular person, in an able-bodied person. Because right now, like I don't. We think we know, like we think I know what I'm trying to do. I think I know what I'm trying to do, but maybe it's just not that clear anymore because of my spinal cord injury. With a regular person, I'm excited to see like if you can map like your pinky and ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb all separately. Because in my mind, it should work. In my mind, like a regular person should be able to map all these way better than I am, than I'm able to and stuff.
I will
Yeah.
say, I shattered this finger, the
Mhm.
bone from like the knuckle to here
Oh
into four
wow.
different pieces
Ooh.
playing football,
Oh
like out in
cool.
the
Yeah.
cold. And so like it's got needles in it sticking on my skin and this
Mm,
stuff. When
gross.
I got the cast off, because I hadn't moved any of my fingers for
Uh-huh.
months. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't move. You know, you know this better than I do, but
Yeah.
like I could not move anything, and I
Yeah.
tried. The other
Yeah.
ones were fine. They were
Yeah.
all fine. I just hadn't tried to move them in months.
Yeah.
And then it obviously took even longer for the broken one to
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
through. But it was like
Yeah.
the craziest sensation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really really interesting to see what this is going to be capable of in the future with like having people map certain things to certain actions and certain fingers and all sorts of stuff. So right now it's just not possible. Right now, like the Neuralink isn't capable of doing a lot of those complex things with typing and like using two hands and stuff. Like I have my implant in my left brain for my like right hand control. You're gonna need one on each side, or just like one with its sort of threads, tendrils, all across the brain to two different parts of the motor cortex in order to get like two hand control or something, where you're able to like type basically like everyone else types on a regular keyboard. But then you're mapping, how many keys are on a keyboard. I don't actually know.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So like you're gonna have to map all of those, or you don't map like I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe you don't map like the exact keys and stuff. You just kind of map like where your fingers are and in relation to certain things, and on like maybe more of like a virtual keyboard, and you just have it like follow each individual finger and stuff. I don't really know. Like these are all like future people problems. Like
No,
like
it's
not
really
for
interesting
me.
to think about. I
Yeah.
guess because a lot of typing is not necessarily about your intention at a given time. It's also about the current state. So if I
Yeah.
type the the letter F, that's already happened, but the state of F is kept. So then you can type another letter and eventually build out a whole word. I could imagine like do you find yourself like mostly thinking to move like the cardinal directions, like up, down, left, or right? Like
Yeah.
how would you say like what's your like how do you navigate like pages or those sorts of things?
Yeah, it is very cardinal direction related. Moving a lot of like my cursor movement is like moving my wrist like left, right, up, down on like a single plane. And that kind of helps. Um, um, that's what's helped me get cursor control best. A lot of my clicks are like, my left click is my index finger and my right click's like my pinky. But I can change that to actually like what's really interesting is we found maybe like a month or two ago that I can use my wrist to move the cursor left and right, and also use those same motions, the left and right of my wrist, like turning, to do left and right click. And there's not much contamination, which is just fascinating because we
Yeah.
found so much contamination between like the index and ring finger. I mean, sorry, index and middle finger even. So like, I don't know. We've started changing things where it's a lot less like, hey, try to figure out what his intention is at this point in time, like at any point in time when he like moves his wrist in this way. It's like you need to understand what a left movement of the wrist is and the right movement. Now it's more on like a spectrum. So it's like at any given point, is he like more leftwards or rightwards for like movement or like for clicking or something, like the average aggregate basically of like what it is thinking you're doing at any point in time, or is he trying to go left, is he trying to go right, like things like that. I don't know, it's above my pay grade. Again, like I
I
said,
have a really important question about the left and right clicking.
yeah,
So
yeah,
on X, you recently posted about maybe staying up and doing some live streaming, and I
yeah,
think there was a podcast recently, or you had mentioned that you recently got access to your phone, and you said that you signed up for RuneScape, or you're signing up for RuneScape. Are you going to
yeah.
do RuneScape Classic? Or like,
Yeah,
what's
oh
going
for
on here?
sure.
What's the
Oh for
plan?
sure. I've been playing around on it on old school RuneScape. I
Nice.
grew up with it. It was one of the first video games I played. Like when I got on a computer and stuff. So I think I'll play around on it. I'll see. Like I don't like playing by myself much. I used to, but I think it would be a lot more fun, especially on a stream, to like play with one of my friends or something. So I'll see if anyone's around and maybe hop on some old school RuneScape and stream it a bit. That'd be pretty sick.
Nice.
Yeah, I would totally watch
Yeah, we
it.
gotta see. Can you like drop mine? Like that'd be awesome.
Oh
We got
man.
so many things. Go into the wild, just
Yeah, dude,
PvP.
that'd be
That'd
sick.
be
I
rad.
don't know, man. I might just spend 72 hours chopping logs. Like maybe that's what I'll do. Just chop trees down for
Nice.
72 hours straight. And I'll probably get like maybe a third of the levels in for like to max out my wood cutting, but I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
miner guy. I love
Oh
the
yeah.
whole smithing and crafting and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
I never did any of that, and it made
Yeah.
the quests impossible. That's so cool. No, I mean, I feel like everyone has to have like played RuneScape
Yeah.
or been involved
Yeah.
with it. It was
It's it's fantastic. It's such a good game.
nice. Because even before I think even before we started recording, we were kind of talking about how much the intention versus attempt gap there is in the future for
Yeah.
Neuralink. Like the
Yeah.
intention is almost telekinesis, style. If we wanted to do some like crazy speculation, because I have kids. I don't think like none of my children are getting Neuralink, but if they're adults, they might. I love thinking the idea of myself having a Neuralink. Do you think there's other things beyond the telekinesis? Do you think there's like spidey senses or like notifications or like there's a package at the
Yeah.
front door you have to sign for?
Yeah. I think it's possible. I mean, you're talking about a computer, right? That's in your brain. So if you think about anything that a computer can do, maybe someday you'll be able to do just by thinking. I don't see why it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't know how soon anything like that would happen. It's pretty sci-fi, maybe in like 50 years or something. Um, Maybe quicker because who knows like what the rate of the rate of like progress will be. If it's like exponential, then it could happen in 10 years. I really don't know. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's possible.
for a while I had these like bone conducting headphones. They're like ones
Oh
that go on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
outside,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, they're really just like little speakers on the outside of your face.
Yeah.
But I could imagine a lot of it because it is vibrations, like, and your skull's right here. So
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be like firing electricity into your brain, just like sound or some kind of
Yeah.
feedback. Do you think there's any kind of like non-computer screen feedback you'd be looking to get from your Neuralink ever, or
Um yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty open to like whatever Neuralink is planning and any sort of like crossover with other devices and things in the future. Um, any upgrades, anything cool, like not necessarily because I want all of that stuff, like not necessarily because I'm like, oh, it'd be super cool if like I had like X-ray vision or something. Like
very cool?
nothing, yeah. like I'm not, I don't necessarily want anything else from these things. Um, I feel like I'm just in a position to test everything at this point. I feel like sort of like a test pilot, like early day like test pilots for like planes or rockets or whatever the hell they were putting up in the sky. Like that's kind of what I feel like. I think I'm just down for whatever, just to try it, and just to see how safe it is. And I feel like I'm, uh, like obviously one of the best users in the world because there aren't many of us. So I'm just in a very unique position to uh, explore all of this stuff. And yeah, it's really cool to play with new toys and stuff. But ultimately, I'm just trying to make the product better and make it safe and make sure that no one gets one of these things and gets hurt or something. So whatever kind of upgrades that they want to do, I'm freaking more than happy to do it. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, it's so cool because I just remember watching like the first videos of Neuralink, like with the pigs and stuff. I live on a
Mhm.
small farm. I have some pigs. They're actually like really
Oh
friendly,
yeah.
and
Yeah, we
it's
have
cool.
we have like a tiny little homesteading thing that we're trying to get running to. We have like,
Nice.
geez, maybe like 30 or 40 chickens. We have about 2 dozen, maybe like 12, maybe like a dozen, in between like 12 and 24 ducks. We have a bunch of quail. I actually don't even know how many quail we have, 20 or 30 quail as well. We have 4 Nigerian dwarf goats, kind of randomly because one of my friend's moms breeds them. We have a turkey. Probably going to get more turkeys because my family loves that turkey. There are a couple of guineas out back that just kind of like wandered onto our property and never left. Um,
Where do
and
you have to
then
feed them?
yeah, yeah, I know, right? Well, there was like someone down the street from us has like a ton of guineas, and they just like roamed around the neighborhood. And so like for a few days, like all of them were coming through. Actually, for like a month, all of them were coming through our property, and we were just like, all right, guess like these guineas are just going to be around. But then they ended up all moving on, but 2 of them stayed. They're like, this seems pretty nice. Like we get fed like morning and night. Like it's pretty nice. Like it's like fenced off, aren't any predators. They have a couple dogs, but we just fly away when that happens, and it's fine. So yeah, they
Yeah.
love it. They love it here. So yeah, we're my mom wants to get other stuff. She wants to get pigs. She wants to get like a cow for freaking no reason. She wants like an ostrich. It's like the most random crap. She wants sheep now because we went to Neuralink and we saw all the sheep, and she's like, we need to get some of these. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my mom loves the animals. My dad doesn't because he has to feed all of them and take care of them. So
Oh, geez, yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, of course. That's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we call ourselves white collar rednecks because we're working kind of like corporate America and like
Yeah.
do programming stuff, but like live on like multiple acres and just have animals running around and
That's
that
sweet.
sort of stuff.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at? Where are you guys located? I don't want to
We're in
dox
South
you guys or
Jersey.
anything. Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's been really cool. Like we both did economics together in college but quickly abandoned it after graduating and just kind of like learned to code. Like what would
Cool.
you say like your like dream job is, or like what you'd like your calling? Like what do you want to do?
Boy,
like,
that's hard.
There's no right answer if that helps.
No, yeah. So like when I was growing up, I could never land on anything because I just kind of want to do everything. I'm just so interested in so many different things. Uh, jack of all trades, master of none sort of stuff. I just love so much, and nowadays it's my like options are super limited. But since getting the Neuralink, it seems like that's expanded a bit. So, like, I'm not really sure. I know that I would like to go back to school. I never finished my degree, but I would like to go back to school and probably switch majors and do something more like neuro related. Just because of all of this, it kind of seems like I'm in that lane now, and try to just progress the field. I don't know. Maybe I think I'll end up being some sort of like advocate for all of this for the rest of my life. I think that's probably where I'll be. Maybe start like doing more like public speaking and stuff on it, and just kind of get the word out with all of this, and not just that, but just be a good like advocate and role model for people in like similar situations or going through the same thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of just like where I'm at. Yeah.
You don't want to do a corporate job and just do the 9 to 5.
I'll
spreadsheets.
I'll think about it. How about that? Like it's
No, that's awesome.
Nothing is out of the realm of possibility at this point. So
That's
wherever
great.
I land is where I land. Yeah, I mean I'm just trying to like be, like I said, be as good of an advocate for like Neuralink and BCI and handicapped people as possible. So we'll see. We'll see where it takes me. I talk about like my faith all the time, so maybe it'll go kind of like more that direction. I'm really not sure.
Well, that's great. I mean, you're doing awesome right now.
Thanks,
Like
man.
I
Thank
love all
you.
the interviews and stuff you've done. So
Thanks.
it's great.
Thanks.
And you're coming up on a year, I think, of the Neuralink. Is that?
Yeah, in a few months. It'll be at the end of January. I got implanted January 28th of this year. So yeah, what is that? Almost a little over 2 months away. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's sweet. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the live. So I guess back to the live streaming. If
Oh
we
man.
just do like a
Yeah.
video game emote at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you said you're gonna stream.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily know what it is yet. Like, would you play RuneScape on stream? Because like
Yeah.
I'm interested in following your story, and if you want to do like speaking or videos or
Mm.
online content, like what sorts of online content would you look to start with? Because I think it's a good entry point for
Mhm.
this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really bad at this. Like I've had
Yeah,
I've had
yeah.
so many people tell me, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should, stream video games. People would love it. You should like do a podcast. You should, do X, Y, or Z and stuff." I'm like, yeah, like I could. I'm pretty bad at it. It's like a lot of work and I'll probably have to do all of it myself. So
Well, yeah, Jeff here, he's a failed Twitch streamer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
So,
first
cool.
off, first off,
yeah.
I was a very fast growing Twitch streamer. So there's an app, you might have played this, HQ Trivia.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
growing up, college, we played like
yeah,
Oh, this is after college. This is like 2015
Yeah.
or 16.
but
Yeah.
this is the origin story. So
Okay.
the in college, because we played, like we mentioned, like a lot of video games and stuff. Like a lot of our friends would play niche video games that were new and coming out, and you could actually get pretty popular, or just like,
yeah,
oh, I'm nationally ranked because it's a game that's been out for 3 months and I've been grinding it.
yeah.
And I took that philosophy to HQ Trivia, the trivia app, which also
Yeah,
AI just would completely eliminate them.
Oh,
yeah,
It
yeah.
was never going to last.
yeah.
I would stream the HQ Trivia and the other money app trivia games on Twitch, and we would all work together to answer the questions. And
That's awesome. I love me
yeah,
some trivia. I love me some trivia. That sounds awesome.
yeah, but it
Yeah, I
was
don't.
fun,
Yeah,
but a big commitment. You're totally right.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would love to do something like that. It's a little hard for me, to like be able to physically do stuff a lot of times. Like, if I commit to doing like streaming a couple times a week, that's like just sort of something I have to work out with like my caretakers, my family and stuff, to be like, hey, I have to be at this place at this time to like stream and stuff. Like it's a little hard. It's not impossible by any means. It's not like I'm not saying, oh guys, sorry, I can't do it because like my disability and stuff. It's not impossible. But it is a lot of work. I have no idea how to even like get all my stream stuff set up. I don't want to say no idea. I have, and I've got like a pretty decent setup at this point. But every time I do it, I'm like, I don't know if I like that, and I just want to like change it. And then also like I want to show people like the best version of Neuralink, and so I always get like in my head about, oh well, like this isn't working too great right now, so I don't want to show people that because like then they're going to get like a really like bad taste of this and they're not going to like it and they're going to say, oh, Neuralink kind of sucks. And so um, I'm a little worried about stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to stream like RuneScape and um, some of these other games like my Civ streaming. I definitely need to do stuff like that. Polytopia, Slay the Spire, played like some Vampire Survivor and like other different games that I've just been like super like I just love playing and can play freaking days straight. So it's something like that. And it's a little weird like talking to yourself. I know you're like talking to the community like through a camera and stuff, but it's a little weird. I don't know if I like it that much. That's why I always say like I don't like doing this stuff by myself. I'd much rather do it with other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll get around to it, I'm sure. And
Nice.
maybe like I need to work on it a little more. I'm like warming up to the idea of doing a podcast. I had some people talk me kind of into it. So that's probably going to happen at some point. But yeah, like I'll figure it out, I guess.
Well, yeah, I will say, especially what we're doing, right? We're full-time corporate software developers,
Mhm.
but the reality is, we want to break out of the 9 to 5 and
Yeah.
have our own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And what we do is maker projects, because we grew up on a small farm, but like I said, we studied economics and software.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play a video again,
Okay.
and this is gonna be our walking robot, and we just want to get your thoughts about like
Ooh.
robots and technology.
Oh yeah.
It's not great, and I've never built a walking robot before, but
Uh-huh.
the idea is you kind of it's just we're in the social media age. We're millennials. You kind of just have to put your stuff out there online, especially if you're trying to sell
Yeah.
a product.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna like, oh, you have to do a podcast. I mean, we're
Yeah.
doing right now because it's a fun experiment, and
Yeah.
we're really happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
But it's also just really helpful to have a social media following.
Yeah,
Mm.
sure.
But you have a great one.
Yeah,
But we're
I've
gonna
been
play
pretty
this
lucky.
video.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Is it fine? There we go.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Ash.
of course. Maybe it'll
It's
pop
like
back
we
up.
tested
There
the
we go.
videos beforehand. It's tripedal. It's a 3-legged walking robot. It's not a humanoid. This is just a
Mhm.
prototype, and this is it doing a full step without me like supporting it.
That's cool.
And the idea is that it has a center leg to balance on instead of the bipedal situation, because you don't have to write a lot of software or do a lot of hard work to
Mhm.
balance on a big center leg. and then the
Yeah.
outer ones would kind of act as arms, like monkey paw.
Yeah.
And it's just that idea that we have, and there's a lot of walking robots, especially with like Tesla and
Boston Dynamics.
yeah,
And
Boston
they're all
Dynamics.
over. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dude, the
anywhere,
Boston
agility robots.
Boston Dynamics robots are freaking wild.
Yeah, they kind of all look nightmarish, and like
Yeah.
the one we're building is no different. What are your thoughts on robotics, or just in general?
Man,
What do you think?
I don't know much about it, but I think it's fascinating. I think robotics and stuff are getting like really, really advanced. And like, the Tesla robots that just came out, they premiered at that like the Optimus robots, not like premiered, but had like bartending and had people talking to, playing like rock, paper, scissors at the like Tesla launch and stuff like that for like the cyber van or whatever it's called. Um, so
It's
I'm
funny.
like
He's
really, what's that? I
go
was gonna
ahead.
say
No, I
I'm
think
like
he called
I'm
it
like
like Robo
really
Man.
fascinated.
The Robovan. The Robovan is
Like he
Oh
pronounced it
yeah.
like how Elon pronounced it, and I
Uh,
I felt the same thing. I felt like I had no idea what it's called because I had
yeah.
no idea what he was saying on
Yeah.
stream.
So I mean, I think it's fascinating. I think that pretty soon they're going to be much, much more like in our lives in the world. I mean, like robots just in general, like have been making their way into our lives for a few years now. Freaking, you start with like a Roomba, and then I don't know, like this year I was staying somewhere in California, and we were literally like ordering stuff from robots in like a hotel where you like order something in your room, and obviously someone has to like put like whatever it is in the robot, but it would like come to your room. You'd get like a little notification from your phone, like it would ring or something. You open the door, and there's like a robot there with whatever frick you ordered, like stuff like that. And then you have like the Optimus robots who are obviously way, way more advanced than that. Um, I don't know. I don't know like where it's going to be in 5 years, but I feel like we're not too far away from like a freaking iRobot sort of world where it's just we're so integrated in our lives with robots everywhere, and people are going to get used to them. Like it's just going to be a thing. I think it's a great field to get into. I think that
Yeah.
if you're going to be doing anything in like the tech world, robotics is a pretty good place, seeing as like where the world's going right now. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, one of our other projects is Desk Buddy. Desk Buddy is just a robot arm that the idea
Oh
is,
yeah.
he sits on your desk and he's your buddy, and you can give him like commands and he can help you do stuff. I think, do we have a video of it?
Gosh, yeah, we do.
I have a couple. I don't know if we're torturing you here,
No,
making you
no,
watch
it's
it.
fine.
Yeah,
No, it's
all the
fine.
videos are like played through. It's kind of funny.
Ooh.
We'll get better at this.
Yeah.
But the goal is to build the most affordable robot arm because a lot of the robot arms are very like expensive, and just having that constraint of using all of the most like cheapest motors, keeping the voltage down, the amperature on the power supply down, so you're not like powering like a really heavy big thing. You just have like a little glorified cell phone stand, and it's just another idea that we have cooking, and it's another project that we're working on. But is there any technology outside the Neuralink that you, besides this food delivering one, like do you use any voice command technology
Yeah, I
in the
use a
home?
lot of yeah, I use like Alexa. I use obviously like my Siri and stuff on my iPhones and stuff. But really just the Alexa to like control like my environment in my room. And I think that, you know, pretty soon I've said this quite a few times to people. I think in the future it's all going to be like everything's Alexa compatible. I think in the future everything's going to be Neuralink compatible, where you're just able to like hop between devices to like control them and stuff. Um, but yeah, that's about it for me. Anything to help me like control my environment, I'm open to, like opening doors. Like I don't know what else. Like, like what I have is say like TV control, like soundbar control, fan control, light control, like lamp control, all sorts of stuff along those lines. You have freaking like smart plugs and everything that Alexa can control, and there are maybe like a couple dozen devices that are Alexa compatible that you can control, like as far as like the home goes, like thermostats, lights, speakers, smart plugs, things like that. But it would be cool to, I don't know, make that even more. Like I keep saying like something like an Optimus robot. If you had something like that to help people like me, like as a full-time caregiver, basically, because like you can't. Most people in my situation don't have full-time caregivers. They have people who like maybe come help them in the morning and people that come in the evening, and that's like all insurance will pay for or something. So having like an Optimus robot, say, to help you at all times, day or night, like that would be such a game changer. I don't know how people would afford it, but I think moving in that direction is definitely the right. Um, it's something that is near and dear
Yeah,
to my heart.
Of course.
no, that sounds super like important, and yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully the technology gets there like at the
yeah,
speed. Like right now for Desk Buddy, one of the milestones that we have is we want to be able to just tell Desk Buddy like pick up this pencil and put it in a jar,
oh
and
yeah,
we're still like really really far away from that.
yeah,
But that's the idea is like if we can do like useful things like that, then
Mhm.
hopefully we'll be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
With our
mean, like
robots.
something like that would be really, really nice for someone like me. If you're able to pick up a pencil and put it in a jar or something like that in a cup, then maybe you're able to pick up something like, depending on how strong it is, like a cup and move it over so like I can have a drink instead of needing someone to come give me a drink or something. You're able to pick up pieces of food and help me eat or something. Like I'm thinking of things that are important to me that like would make my life better, make me more independent and stuff. But I'm sure there are a million different use cases for something like that. And I'm not sure that the world is far away from these sorts of things. It seems like we're pretty dang close. I already know other BCI guys who have used like robotic arms to like do different things, used a robotic arm to like help them eat or something. Um, I'm not sure how good they are, uh, but I know that that's you know not out of the realm of possibility to be a thing that people are doing using in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's tough. Designing a generic gripper. Sometimes it's easier to make the gripper more specific so it can do certain tasks.
Yeah,
But robots are also really expensive, so they
yeah,
find themselves in the manufacturing scene doing these specific things. So yeah, we'd really like to start at the desk. The idea with the desk is that you're
yeah,
sitting at the desk and everything is like at your grasp. So doing like pencils, maybe it could type on the keyboard for you. You teach it like your password or like lock your lock
yeah,
your
right.
computer or something. But we'd like to really get far
Yeah, and
and
that's
have a good
that's our
time.
like objective with even the walker. It's like how do we like beat the market scale situation where it's not like buying a car and it's like having a simple nightmare crawling robot that could just go up and down stairs. Like what's the
Yeah,
most economical nightmare machine that could go up and
yeah.
down stairs? Because even there's like a bunch of uses that I would use it for.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's
I
like just
mean,
solving.
that's Elon's whole philosophy is like you can make stuff, but can you make it like scalable? Can you make it affordable for people? Like that's Neuralink's whole objective. It's not supposed to be for the elite. It's not supposed to be so expensive that no one can get it done. It's supposed to be for the masses. And so that's something that I know he's really passionate about. He feels like all of his products need to be that affordable at some point. Maybe they're not like now per se, like some of them, but he's trying to make them more affordable. So, like anything along those lines, I feel like needs to be. You talk about like, for me personally, like medical devices and things, it's such a niche field that like they're allowed to charge out the butt and they can and they will. Um, and maybe because there are only so many people buying them, they have to charge for certain things like super high, but also they make things super expensive because they know like insurance are the ones paying for it. So like say my wheelchair is worth like $70,000 or something, not something that I could ever buy on my own, but they're like, well, you're not buying it, it's insurance that's buying it. But then you take that and kind of apply that to other things in the medical field. And it's kind of the same idea. But if I ever wanted, say, like to buy my own specialized wheelchair or something, I couldn't, because they still charge really, really high, because generally it's just insurance paying. So things like that. And I hope like something like an Optimus robot, or a different kind of robot that would be a caregiver, or that would be able to help me, isn't along the same lines where they're like, oh, well, like insurance will pay for a robot to help someone who's like handicapped, so we're going to charge $150,000 for a robot. And it's like, well, like if I just want like a different robot, I want something, that can help me in a very specific way, there's no way I'd be able to afford it. So I don't know. We'll see where the world goes with this sort of thing.
Yeah, the future will tell for sure. And Elon's amazing at scale. Even the Starship rocket ship, it's amazing how we're just like able to watch. Like, I need to see it in person. But just
me too.
Is
me
insane.
too. I want to go. I really wanted to go to the last one, and it's just like they keep freaking announcing a launch like a week in advance. And I'm like, guys, give me like a month. Give me 1 month in advance, and I'll find a way to make it down. A week is not enough time.
I think the next one's Monday. So it's like,
I know, right?
Plane tickets now.
Oh my gosh, crazy. I would probably end up driving, and it's like a almost a 20-hour drive. So I need advance notice. I need.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wait, so because you're in Arizona, is it?
Yeah, I'm in Yuma. Okay. So it's like right on the border of California and Mexico, right in the corner of Arizona. So I'm not too far, but I'm far enough where I need time to plan ahead,
That's great. Well, I'm sure he'll be launching them because he's able to build one a month. I'm sure, or like
I know, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm like super confident in the next year or so. It'll be just just go down for the weekend, and you'll just.
I know, right?
Maybe the Saturday one's gonna go. If not, we'll get the Sunday launch.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be awesome.
I mean, they're doing so good. And then the like catch with the chopsticks. Oh, that was so cool. That was so freaking cool. They're so impressive.
I didn't believe. Yeah, it's the best. It's the most suspenseful thing. It's almost like watching a sports game. I was gonna ask a controversial. Like, what's your football team? Is it like
Cardinals?
Cardinals, nice. Okay, I like their quarterback. It's
Kyler Murray,
most
man.
Acceleration. He's like a speedster.
Yeah, Kyler Murray went to Texas A&M. So that's where I went to college, was Texas A&M, and so he was there for like a year or two, maybe. But he was a backup. I think he was a backup. Gosh, who was he a backup to? Kenny Hill, maybe. And our coach Kevin Sumlin never played him. Kyler Murray would come in like garbage time at the end of games, and so he never really got to show his stuff. And then he went to Oklahoma, and I think he won the Heisman. So, Texas A&M things. But then he came to Arizona Cardinals. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. Have you guys seen the Call of Duty stuff with him?
No.
Yeah. So there's like a meme that went around, like a graph, basically. Someone crunched the numbers, and they found a correlation between Kyler Murray's performance and Call of Duty releases. So when a Call of Duty game comes out, his performance plummets. And so there was a lot of speculation, like Kyler Murray's up playing Call of Duty all night, and now he's sucking on Sundays. And I guess he is like a gamer and stuff. So people were like, Kyler Murray, stop effing playing Call of Duty. So like my fantasy football name is like Ban Cod in Arizona. So like it's funny. It's funny.
Nice. Okay.
What are you guys like, Patriots fans?
No, South Jersey. Yeah, so Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you
cool.
guys have Zach Ertz, right?
We did. Yeah, he traded them to the Commanders. Yeah, he's there.
Oh, but it was good. I would watch the Cardinals a lot. Also, I'm actually just like a fan of Murray as like a quarterback, because he's actually like low key, probably like his acceleration is insane. He's like one of my favorite like running quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's incredible. He was drafted to the Oakland A's too. He was drafted. He's a dual sport guy. He plays baseball and football. So he was drafted to the Oakland A's, got like a freaking $100 million contract or something, and turned it down to play football instead. He's an incredible athlete. He's super fast. Like you said, his acceleration is bonkers. But yeah. One of my roommate from college is a Philly guy.
Okay.
Yeah, like Sixers, Eagles, just all Philly stuff. So we're always talking about it. Man, you guys are like kind of spoiled over there with your Eagles team when they're good.
They just have plot armor. I don't. It's this.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they're not good. It's fun. It's very dramatic being a
Yeah.
Philadelphia sports fan.
I don't know how dramatic it is. You guys literally just like we've been joking that your play, you guys specifically like plan out not scoring with like Saquon Barkley or any of your players. They have to land on like the 1 yard line so Jalen Hurts can like sneak it in. Yeah, it just because like that's all that happens all the time. It's like they do this on purpose, right? Like they don't score on purpose.
I will say I do hate national media because they call it tush push, and it was the brotherly shove is what we called it.
I love
And
the brotherly shove.
And now no one says it anymore.
The brotherly shove is so much better. It's so much better. Yeah, it's so good. I don't think has it been as good since Kelsey left? I didn't think it was like as effective.
I think at the end of the season last year, we didn't do it so successfully. I think we missed 3 times in a row. So I think the stats are technically the same-ish right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelsey was definitely like a
I mean, Hall of Fame center right there. It makes it easy, That's cool though. That's cool. Eagles are good, man. I like them. I don't know how good they are. Like, I don't know if they're going to make it anywhere, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think both their teams will make it to the playoffs easy. But
yeah.
I'm just cursed it now.
Yeah, I know, right? Arizona is going to go on like a freaking 7-game losing streak, however many games are in the rest of the year, whatever it is.
I think you're still first in your division.
Though. Yeah, so it's true.
You hold on to it. You'll get
there.
Yeah,
but we have the Niners in our division, and they just got Christian McCaffrey back.
Okay.
Yeah. Rams are in our division, and they can go off. Like they just got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back, so like who knows? They could be good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you could. I think you could do it. You could hold on to the spot. It's hard with the 49ers, but I think you just tooth and nail.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we played football growing up.
Oh yeah,
a lot of like bench warming positions.
Yeah,
but like I played it from 5th grade all the way to high school.
Oh, cool. So what'd you guys play? Like what positions?
Yeah, like bench warmer. Water boy,
gotcha.
Maybe tight end sometime.
Special team.
Sure. You guys look kind of tall. Teams. Are you guys tall? You guys like tight end tall?
We're 6 foot, like 6'1", like
cool.
6. So it's, but man, you play football in high school, and you're like, I'm 6 foot. I'm a little over 6 foot. I think I'm tall. And it's like you're not tall.
Yeah, there's some big guys on our team.
Yeah, do you guys? Yeah, well, you guys are in a place where like I feel like there's a lot of competition.
High dense population.
Yeah.
South Jersey, Philadelphia area.
So like, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in it's not a small town, but they're like, I was one of the biggest guys that like on our football team, and I'm not very big. I'm like 5'11" on a good day with boots, and I was like kind of bigger, bigger, but yeah, like I played like a linebacker and stuff, but there weren't like a lot of super, big guys or really great football players. We were just kind of like average. We would basically like, there's lots of competition in our town in Yuma, but then you go and play a team from like Phoenix and you get absolutely destroyed because Phoenix is just like, they're just like so much better than us. We don't stand a chance against teams from Phoenix or like Tucson or anything, which is sad, but just Yuma. Soccer's a bigger sport here because we're so close to Mexico. So like everyone plays soccer. And soccer players are actually pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I could never get into soccer. Just didn't have the dexterity at all.
Yeah.
Did you snowboard a lot, or did you
no? I went. I went a couple times. The first time I ever went, I think I broke a couple ribs. No one told me. No one told me the whole like you got to go like side to side. So I got on my board off the ski lift and I was like, I'll just go straight down. That's how you do it, right? And so just pointed my board, like pointed the nose straight down and got like the speed wobbles and like caught the front of my board into like a full somersault, kind of landed on like the top of my shoulders on my back. And I'm pretty sure I broke a couple ribs. I also like ran into, I was, geez, what was I, like 15 or 16? I was like a decently big guy. Ran into a girl that was like 10 years old, like coming down the mountain, like absolutely destroyed her. And I like got up, I was like, are you okay? And she like got up like it was nothing and sort of like skied away, like, you know, like F you, like learned how to freaking snowboard. And I was like, girl has some attitude, but yeah, I deserve that. Yeah, I was not very good. Not very good at board sports. Not great.
Oh no, yeah, we were terrible. Like skateboarding or any
yeah.
of that stuff. Yeah, like any like little kid is just like better.
Yeah.
Kids can be nasty at that stuff too. Like they're really good at
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it's true. I did like snowboarding a couple times. Tried like skating and stuff. Could never figure out like an ollie. So I was like, I guess I'm not good at this. Like longboarding and stuff around, but you know, it is what it is. Like it's just fun. Did wakeboarding when I worked at a summer camp. That was pretty cool. Not good at that. Not good at that either. So board sports aren't my thing. I'm more of like a ball sports kind of guy. I can play anything with a ball. I'm like super athletic, so I could just pick up whatever. So yeah, that was more my thing.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Any final questions at all? But
Or
if you have any critiques on our robots, just
no,
leave us some
man.
nasty comments.
No, it was cool. It was
YouTube.
cool. This was it was super chill. Love just kind of these sorts of conversations. Don't get to have them much. Usually it's like, tell us about X, Y, and Z with the Neuralink and stuff. And even though we weren't recording, we got to talk about like some anime and stuff like that. So that's always cool. But yeah, man, I really hope you guys have a lot of success in what you're doing. And you know, like good luck with the podcast thing if you guys do that or continue to do it and stuff, and the robotics. Let me know. Keep me updated, and we'll do this again sometimes.